Ladies and gentlemen, how y'all doing? Yeah, obviously just a lot. Frustrated that we, didn't come out on top. We beat ourselves. Hats off to Tennessee, great football team, but we put ourselves in a hole and just couldn't get out.
What was Derrick Henry really got going in the second half? Did they do anything different there, or just emphasize it?
Nah, he just kept running the ball, man. I mean, obviously he's a top back for a reason, if not one of the best backs, if not the best back in the league. Bigger back, obviously, we just gotta. Everybody has to do their job, has to stay in our gaps as firm as possible, and if we give him a little bit of a crease, he's gonna hit it because he's that good. And he got rolling, and when he gets rolling, he's dangerous.
What happened on the long touchdown run?
He scored.
What did you see on that play, though?
Well, I was behind him, so we obviously didn't get him down, and he scored.
You think the run defense stuff was like gap stuff?
Yeah, it's about, just playing our gaps. But like I said, we just got to stay in our gaps. If we give a little bit of a crease for a guy like Derrick Henry, he's going to hit it. So.
You guys got a lot of penalties, including the one that happened to you. Describe what happened, and did you think that merited a flag? Describe what happened. Describe what happened, and whether you thought that merited a flag.
You talking about my penalty or just everybody overall?
Yours first.
I'm not really a go back and forth with the refs and whatnot. I think it was, obviously this is an offensive league. They're going to protect the quarterback. Bang, bang situation. I don't agree with it, but at the end of the day, they called it. Can't happen. I have to be smarter in that situation. But I don't really agree.
You mentioned overall that you guys maybe were overamped from the standpoint of being the first game back, and there were unnecessary penalties because you guys carried it too far.
I mean, I can't answer that. We just we can't have those penalties. You know what I mean? It's not about coming out here and at the end of the day, we have a job to do. And we have to, have controlled chaos is what I call it. And, it's an even kill mindset. We can't have those penalties in crucial situations. Some are ticky-tack. It's just like DJ Reed and, on the taunting penalty. Come on, man. You're taking the emotions and the passion out of the game of football. So at the end of the day, that's the rule. We have to play smarter. But, yeah, we definitely shot ourselves in the foot with a lot of our penalties that led to points and extended drives.
What's the key to maintaining that even temper in the second half when you're up and the fans are going crazy for the first time for you since you've been here? What's the key to keeping that even keel?
I think it's just going back to the basics and focusing on your job. Everybody doing their assignment, being disciplined, staying gap sound, because we all play a part, all 11 of us. So it's not, an upfront thing. It's not a second-level thing or a third-level thing. It's a team thing. And as a defense, we were playing phenomenal at the beginning. You know what I mean? And we just didn't finish. We didn't finish, and it hurts. It does hurt, but that's okay. We're gonna keep our head up. We got a long season. We understand, who we are as a defense. We understand, the sky's the limit for this defense, and we're gonna keep on marching.
Do you feel like there was a change in mentality from when you came out to start the game to when you came out to start the second half as a defense?
I don't think so. I think that those guys on the other side of the field just got rolling. And like I said, Derrick Henry's Derrick Henry for a reason. I've been going against him for a long time, since LSU days, and he's a bigger back, So when he gets rolling and he starts falling forward, that's when we're in trouble. As a defense, anybody's in trouble, should I say. So hats off to them, Tannehill. They did a phenomenal job of controlling the clock and capitalizing when they needed to.
Tyler Lockett just called this a learning experience. What lessons do you want to see the defense take out of this game?
Just doing our job, just staying disciplined for 4 quarters. Anybody can swing in the first half, but we got to swing it in the second half as well. And we gave ourselves chances. We just didn't come out on top. It was a tough ball game. You know what I mean? It wasn't like we just didn't, go out there and compete or didn't, go out there and make plays towards the end. We gave ourselves a chance, but it didn't roll our way.
They were without a couple of starting offensive linemen for a good chunk of this game, but it felt like a lot of the extra pressure when you guys were bringing blitzes, you weren't having a lot of success, to get home. Was there anything that they were doing in particular that was making it difficult for you guys to get that extra pressure to Tannehill?
No. They wasn't doing anything difficult. They was just executing, and we weren't.
Jamal, you've talked for a long time about wanting to play in front of the 12s. This was the first time in a real game. What was that like, and do you think actually Tennessee did a good job of handling the noise?
It was phenomenal, just to get out there and experience the 12s. The last time I've kind of experienced something like that was my LSU days back in Baton Rouge. I'm not gonna say who was louder, but it was both. They both were going. You know what I mean? And the 12s is phenomenal when you can get behind fans like that that have your back. And as a defense, we feed off of that, and just as well as they feed off of us. Tannehill and the Titans did a phenomenal job of controlling it. You noticed that they started going tempo. When they were going tempo, obviously they knew what we could throw at them on third down. And they were just keeping us on our toes, doing a phenomenal job at that. But at the end of the day, the tempo didn't affect us. It just, we gotta continue to do our job at all times and can't get distracted by what's going on or what they're trying to disguise in a way. So at the end of the day, we didn't execute and they did.
How does it get to the point where you guys just aren't doing the basics?
Say it again.
How does it get to that point? I mean, like you say, you're playing well, basics, doing your job, so it seems pretty like basic stuff. How does that get lost in a game like that?
Sometimes shit just happens, man. You know what I mean? Sometimes it just happens that way. That's, like I said, that's a phenomenal group. I mean, you talk about their offense, on paper, Julio, Derrick Henry, A.J. Brown, Tannehill. I mean, the list goes on and on of great, phenomenal players on that side. So, let's not act like we ain't play a good offense. They executed, we didn't.
Jamal, with the taunting stuff and the new emphasis on that, do you feel like the NFL has made it clear where exactly the line is and what you can't do?
Well, you can't look at the offensive player while he's on the ground. You can't talk to him. You can't show emotion. Again, this is an offensive game, and that rule is, I'm not a fan of it.
Did Bobby address the defense after the game?
No. We okay, man. We're gonna be all right. This isn't the end of the world. It's one game. We obviously 24-hour rule. We got to learn from it. Yeah, it hurts, especially losing at home in front of the fans. Man, they brought the juice and the energy today. Obviously, it didn't roll our way, but that's okay, man. We got another opportunity at hand, and we're looking forward to that challenge.
How are they using you differently? Looks like you're not blitzing as much. The numbers say that.
Yeah, I wouldn't say they're using me differently. I guess I'm just not getting the opportunities as much like last year as far as blitzing. But, man, listen, when my number's called, I'm going to do my job. I'm out there to do my job to the best of my ability. And like I said, when my number's called, I'm ready.
Anything else? Thanks, Jamal.
Thanks, Jamal.